Hi, my name is Al Green. Not that one, but the struggling guy who was in the music industry for years trying to sell talent and songs to agents. The agents befriended me and taught me techniques that I want to pass on to you through my program, which is called You Can Talk, You Can Sell. Anyone who has ever taken this program has excelled in selling and either risen to the top of their company, their team, or the top of their field. It's called You Can Talk, You Can Sell, and you can get it right here. Hey, let's play a game. We're going to have some fun as salespeople to put across the idea in this lesson that you never want to forget your customers, but you definitely do not want them to forget you. You always keep them in mind, and they always keep you in mind. So we're going to do a little thing with names, because one of the most common things that happens is people meet somebody and they turn their back, and 20 seconds later they can't remember their name. It happens all the time. If that happens to you, don't feel bad. It happens to everybody. And there's ways to get around that, because it's embarrassing if you go back to see that person and for the life of you, you just can't remember their name. So let's play a little game. I'm going to mention a name and you think of a celebrity. So I'm going to say Tom. Can you think of any celebrity? So if you meet a person named Tom, you can think of a celebrity to remember them. So you can think, okay, Tom Cruise, Tom Selleck, Tom Hanks, Tommy Lee Jones. Okay? Let's pick another one. Let's pick the word Emma. There are going to be people you meet named Emma. And you can think of Emma Watson, a movie called Emma, or Emma Stone. That's another fun one. Now, at the same time, depending on what your name is, I'm lucky enough to have the name of a famous celebrity. My name is Al Green. I tell people my name's Al Green, and then they immediately ask me if I sing like the celebrity, which I tell them I don't, because they don't want to hear me sing. But they don't forget me because they think of me in synonymous with the celebrity Al Green. If your name is Sandra, we can talk about Sandra Bullock. We can talk about Sandra Day O'Connor. There's lots of Sandras out there that we can work with. It's not that hard to do. Just pick of a name. You'd be amazed how many times a common name. John. Okay, who do we have for John? We got Johnny Depp, we got John Travolta, and we got John Legend. Okay, any of these people ring a bell? How about the name Ed? I have met so many people named Ed over the years. Once in a while, geez, what was that guy's name? Okay, so, you know, we have Ed. We have Ed Norton. That's one. We have a lot of other types of names that are related, like not just Ed, but Edward. And you can think of those. You can think of Prince Edward. You can think of Ed Sheeran. Okay, let's pick another name. Jessica. Any Jessicas pop out at you? How about Jessica Alba? How about Jennifer? Any Jennifers pop out? Gee, I just made a gal named Jennifer. What? Oh, God, Jennifer. How am I going to remember that? She worked right next to a gal named Jessica. I keep getting them confused. So I decided one of them to me was going to be Jessica Alba, and the other one was going to be Jennifer Lopez. And I could also use Jennifer Lawrence or Jennifer Aniston, okay? Whatever it takes. But you're going to have fun with it. Now, when you're doing this as an exercise, you can start it immediately. Nobody needs to know that you're actually using a tool to remember names. They just think you're having fun, and that's the best way to break the ice and build a rapport with somebody. You got to be respectful at all times, so you don't say it in a sarcastic way. But you meet a guy named Bruce, and you go, oh, Bruce, like Bruce Willis, or like Bruce Lee. And they'll usually go, yeah, like Bruce Willis, okay? They like that. They like the idea of the connection, okay? There's all kinds of ways you can deal with names. Sandra Bullock, Sandra Day O'Connor, like I mentioned. Other names you could have, like, for example, Chris. You could say Chris Rock, definitely in the news, okay? Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth? Just think about that. Now, what is your name? So your name is maybe Will, because I know a guy named Will. All I got to think of is, Will Ferrell, Will Smith, Jim. We have names like Jim Carrey and James, versions of James, which is Jim, like James Cameron and James McAvoy. So many different ways you could play this. Daniel could be Daniel Radcliffe, Daniel Craig. So let's pick a name for you. George, can you think of a bunch of celebrity or famous names of Georges? You can say, oh, George Washington, George Clooney, George Costanza, okay? You can have fun with this. It doesn't have to be a hard and fast rule, but if you are like most people, you get so busy, once in a while, you meet a person, you say their name to yourself, and then you walk outside to your car and you forget their name. Some names throw us, like Savannah, Samantha, other names. There are lots of different ways to remember. I've known 2 customers in the last 15 years named Mandy. Now that wasn't hard to keep apart. I just thought of, there's a famous song by Barry Manilow called Mandy. And there's the actor, Mandy Patinkin. So Mandy wasn't hard to remember. That was an easy one. But you meet other people. You meet a lot of people. Joanne, okay? Can you think of a famous Joanne? I can, but it's probably too old for you. Okay, Joanne Worley. I don't know if you're old enough to know that name, but I think of other names, and they could be famous movie actors from a long time ago. They could be famous people from history. They could be famous people that are trendy right now. It could be an Ed Sheeran if you run into a person named Ed. There's also Edward, like Edward Norton, as I said. So you can think of a lot of different names. You can, if you ever run into anybody named Arnold, I'll bet you won't have trouble with that one. Like I said, and I mentioned in a previous seminar, I met a guy about 15 years ago, not even 15 years ago, it was about 10 years ago, named Barack. Okay, now I'm not going to forget that name, and I don't think you are either. But that was his name. Piece of cake. How could you make it any easier? The same goes for a lot of other names that are in the news all the time, whoever's topical. You can think of a person, if you hear a name that's similar, you can think of a person that you could use as a way of remembering that person. There's probably 15 people I know right now named Adam. If I meet another Adam that's unrelated in a completely different world, I meet a guy at Costco, or I meet a guy at a store, his name is Adam, I can think Adam Sandler. There's a lot of different ways that you can do this. I can think of Adam and Eve. I mean, there's lots of ways you can go with this. But if you ever run into anybody named Kanye, I guarantee you're not going to forget his name. Same goes for some of the other people that have these very special names. You're probably not going to find duplicates, but if you do, you probably will not forget them. Just think of the most common names and have fun with it, because the thing about sales that makes it great about meeting people is having fun with them. The experiences you have. I met a gal about 5 years ago. Her real name on her driver's license was Sofia Vergara. I said, wow, that's amazing. And she goes, oh, I know. And she's all aflutter talking about it because everybody gets on her about that, just like they do on me for Al Green. I call a person on the phone, they'll say, who's this, please? I'll say, this is Al Green. They'll go, the singer? I've had fun with it for years and years and years, and people don't forget me. Whatever your name is, think of a celebrity name that you could throw in there. What's a name that you could throw in there? What is your name? Is your name Julia? Can you say, yeah, Julia, like Julia Roberts or Julia Childs? That's another one. There are so many of those. Is your name Diane? You could always say Diane Keaton. And if you're too young to know who that is, look it up. It's a famous name, okay? We all have fun with our names. There are so many variations because everybody has a namesake somewhere, And if you compare it to a namesake of somebody who is famous, you'll probably get them remembering you, because remember, you want to always keep your customer in mind and never forget your customer, but at the same time, you don't want them to forget you. You want them to always remember you. So think about your name, and who is famous has a name just like yours. So when you introduce yourself, you can say, yeah, my name is Mark, kind of like Mark Cuban, or like Mark Wahlberg. Who else can you think of? My name is Nora, like Nora Jones. There's lots of those. You can always go and find somebody somewhere. And if you're not sure, just go on the internet and type in famous people named and put in your name, and you'll see who comes up. So you can always use that to your favor. But make sure that you do it in such a way that it's fun, because then when you have fun, like the game we're playing, people will not forget you. And if they don't forget you, you're 90% there of retaining them and selling them over and over again. So have fun with the names, and you'll remember names from now on.